Pencil Kings, 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 Pencil Kings.
All right, it's Wednesday, so we're back once again. This is the Pencil Kings podcast, and today it's going to be a little bit different. I don't have a guest today, so you're just going to get me. It's the beginning of the year. It's going to be the 13th today, and what I wanted to talk about was doing some cool stuff this year, because I think it's really easy to look back at the end of the year and say, next year I'll tackle that thing next year. I'll get to that next year, and so. In 2015, I did a lot of reading about mindset stuff, how you can accomplish more and have more confidence and all this rah-rah stuff, which is great. It's really refreshing to read some of that and to see how it applies to yourself and to realize that, it's not this race. You're just competing against yourself. And really, if you know what you want, then that's one of the hardest things. And once you do know what you want, then you can start to go after that and move forward towards it. So I'm reading all this, and I think it's easy to, at the end of last year, put off and say, okay, 2016, that's going to be the year that I do X. But it's really this stuff is happening all the time. It's not about necessarily a certain year. I used to say that this year is going to be the year of I used to say it's going to be the year of Mitch. How ambiguous could that be? And then recently I've met some people, and they dedicate their year to saying, this is going to be the year of spirituality. I had a mutual friend who was an acquaintance. He was an acquaintance, somebody that I met through a friend, and he had dedicated last year to being spiritual, which I thought was really cool. And so he had, spent all this time in doing yoga retreats, and he was on water fasts and all kinds of things that, for me, from the outside looking in, I just see wow, somebody's doing something really cool and interesting and exciting. I wish my life was like that. And it can be, I'm doing a lot of exciting things, and you're probably doing a lot of exciting things too. And you might not be looking at it that way, but that's what it is. And it's not necessarily that you have to have this gargantuan effort in saying 2016 is going to be the year that I finally X. It's this stuff is happening every single moment, every day. And so you just keep moving forward, and you keep advancing, step by step, inch by inch. And so when you look back, it's pretty amazing how far you've come. So I want to celebrate, because I know we've got a lot of listeners here. There's a lot of people that have supported Pencil Kings and helping us to continue to bring great art training to people that want it, and create a community that's continuing to get better and better. So I just wanted to look back and celebrate some of the wins that we had last year, because I think it's easy to forget where we came from. So about a year ago, we had almost an entirely different website. It was held together, as I like to say, with love and duct tape, virtual duct tape. That's what the website was made out of. And now we've got this fantastic website that allows us to do what we want to do and produce more content and continue to produce more courses. And it's actually, the website, for the most part, has gotten out of the way of us doing the work. So we can just do the thing that we want to do. And I know that often in life, there's this hurdle that you have to get over, where things are really complicated. And until you get over this hurdle, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to be where you're at. And so one of the things that I learned at the end of last year, speaking of this being frustrated, is the stages of, there's basically 4 stages of, we'll just call it mastery. And it applies to so many different things, like a lot of things that we teach. We look at it through the lens of art, but it teaches so many different things. So this particular one, you're probably going to find it very cool. So let's think of this as an employee, though, not as an artist. I'll bring it back and tell you how it applies as an artist, but let's think of it as an employee. So there's that person who's just starting the job, And when you just start the job, you have so much enthusiasm. You're so excited to be there. Nothing bad can go wrong. And you're totally jazzed for all the amazing things that you're going to do in this new job. And then you meet that person who's at level 2. When you're excited, you're at level 1, and the guy at level 2, he's been at the company a little bit longer. He's a little bit disgruntled. I remember meeting my big breakthrough job. I went and my first day was spent assembling my own desk. It's like, here's a box of IKEA furniture. This is your desk. Go. That was day 1. I was so excited. And I remember walking out in the parking lot. I was just so excited to be working finally as an artist, like as a real paid, artist in the entertainment field. And one of the level 2 employees, he'd been there for a little bit longer. He came up to me and he said, new guys. I was there with my friend. How was your first day? And, I told him it was great and I was so excited to be there. And, he'd been working so hard for so many years trying to get to this point of being able to work on some cool projects. And so I was just completely jazzed to be there. And he said, yeah, just give it a few weeks. This place sucks. Something to that effect. Basically poo-pooing the whole thing, the whole experience, everything. And I didn't understand what he was talking about. But this is level 2. And in level 2, remember, level 1, you're super excited. You're looking forward to everything. And you just got this big grin on your face. You don't realize what is in store. Then at level 2, you're past that honeymoon phase and you realize that things are not quite as easy as you originally thought that they were going to be. That if you want to be truly good at this job that you've chosen to do, you're going to have to put in some serious time and get some serious feedback. I mean, because we were artists, but no matter what job you're doing, there's probably somebody ahead of you who has more experience and more years at the position, and they can tell you how to improve. You're going to have to get some feedback from these people. So that's level 2. Level 3. Level 3 is when you get to the point where you can do most of the stuff on your own. Level 3 is that person that doesn't need a whole lot of supervision, and really it's more like a collaboration. You've gotten past that level 2 stage where things were really difficult and they were hard, and now you're really enjoying the work that you're doing because you feel like you're producing something. You go into work and you can produce. And this, I feel like, is where we're getting to with Pencil Kings. It's with our website. We're not fighting with it anymore. We're there. We're able to just come in and do what we do and get the best content that we can out to as many people as we can. This is level 3. Then level 4 is when you're basically the master. You know more than the people above you, and you get paid for your expertise. So at level 4, all you really want is to come in, do your work, and get the pat on the back that says, awesome job. You did it again. You're doing very good work here. So these are the 4 levels. All right. Now, let's see how these apply to art. And maybe you can ask yourself where you are with these levels right now. So level 1, you pick up your pencil. You got your sketchbook. Your pencil's sharp. And you're ready to go. You're going to be an artist. Nothing can stop you. You just dive into it. And you're having a blast drawing whatever you want to do. The problem is that your drawings probably, they're not really that great. You might be having a blast, but you still, something in the back of your mind is saying, this could be a little bit better. There's something wrong here. I'm not sure what it is. But you're still having a lot of fun. Or maybe you don't realize that. Maybe just keep going and you're having a blast. This is where I was when I was level 1. I was having a total blast. And then somebody looked at my art who knew a little bit more and told me what was up. Basically told me that I had no idea what proportions were all about, and that all of my faces, which I love drawing, were totally jacked up. And I was confused because I thought I was doing everything right. Everyone told me that I was the art kid in my class. Everybody told me that my drawing was amazing. And then this art teacher said it wasn't. And so I was confused. I was getting into stage 2. I was really hurt when I went from stage 1 to stage 2. It was really just happened in one conversation. And then I realized that I had a lot more study, that I had to put in a lot more time to get my skills to where I wanted them to be, to where I would be happy with them. So this was level 2, although even though in level 2 you're sort of at this disgruntled stage where you realize it takes a lot more work than you initially thought. I don't think I was that disgruntled. I remember being, unhappy at times with my work, but I just kept going. I kept drawing more things. I kept improving. Then level 3. What is level 3 as an artist? Well, in the world that I come from, with films and video games, this would be your lead artist, I guess, or not your lead, maybe your senior artist. The senior artist, he doesn't need much supervision. He can mostly do what he wants, but sometimes he's still going to ask for assistance. This is when I think I only ever got to level 3. That's as high as I ever got with my own art when I was really in it, when I was working in video games and whatnot. So at level 3, you're that senior artist or you're that lead artist, but you still got the art director on top of you. Or you still got the client, if the client is, going to be the one who's telling you and has the real vision at the end of the day. But at level 3, you're more or less left alone a lot of the time, and life is pretty good. You can take a lot of decisions yourself. You can take ownership of things. You can feel like you're in charge. You can feel like you're the one who's setting the direction of a lot of things. And I feel like this is important to so many people, because at the lower levels, you might not realize this when you're getting started, but at the lower levels, you just show up and people tell you what to do, and then you do your best, and then you take feedback, and you take feedback, and you take feedback again, and you do your thing again. A lot of people don't realize how much feedback, how many revisions go into the stuff that they see. If they did, I'm sure that they would be shocked that somebody would redo, a sword 30 times. This happened. I'm sure you're only like 2 degrees of separation to somebody who knows someone that's designed a weapon or a character or a piece of clothing or something, some piece of furniture way too many times. But once you get to level 3, you're the one who's, you're starting to be in charge. Then at level 4, at the top of the pyramid, then, you're the art director. You're the person who's directing things. And, that's somewhere you could aspire to be, but you don't necessarily have to be there to be the one who's happy. I mean, happiness doesn't necessarily come at being at the top of the hill or the top of the ladder. And I'm sure you've heard it before that the journey is what's important, not the destination. And it's so true that, enjoy where you're at right now with your art. Enjoy, think to yourself, which level are you really at right now? If you're working somewhere, you might be able to say like, man, I'm super disgruntled. And then you're at a level 2 and maybe you have to do some things to level yourself up to a level 3. Or maybe you're just working for yourself and it's been all smiles and good times, and you realize after hearing this, maybe I'm just a level 1. Well, that's okay. It's everybody somewhere. Even if you're at level 0, as soon as you pick up that pencil and grab your sketchbook, you're level 1. But realizing that, maybe you now can see that there's more to this. There's another level, and there's another level of punishment, of self-hatred and hard work. We don't want to hate ourselves, but it seems like that's a common thread for artists, to be unhappy with your work and continuing to strive to be better than you are. And it's a very noble cause, but there's a lot of pain in doing it. And so if it's all smiles and good times, maybe it's time to move up to level 2. So that aside, 2016, we're at the beginning of the year. There's lots of cool things that we have planned for this year, but I want to call you out by calling myself out. So I want to ask you, what are all the things that you've been afraid to do, that you said last year, it's December, I'll get to it next year, or it's almost the end of the year. I don't have time for this. I'll get to it next year. Or, my skills just aren't quite there. I'm no good at drawing cars, so I can't do that project that I wanted to do for myself. What is that thing that you put off last year, towards the end of the year or in the summer, that you may have even forgotten about it? Or it might be something that's been hiding secretly, silently for so long, just waiting to be brought out. What is that project or that vision or that dream that you've had for yourself, but you haven't quite given yourself the permission to go for it? Do you know what it is? Here's a few of the projects that I've, last year I talked a lot about some of the things that I wanted to do. I talked on the podcast about things that I wanted to do. So let's just throw a few of these out because I'm guilty of the exact same thing. So Patreon page. I talked about doing a Patreon page. So we did actually get a Patreon page set up. And then I just got discouraged with it, and I felt overwhelmed. Like, we're already have Pencil Kings. We're trying to improve that and make it better for all the community and improve the quality of our lessons. Do I really want to start managing a Patreon page too? And at the end of the day, the answer was no. Still up, but we're going to be closing that down right away. So that was one thing that I wanted to do, and I talked a lot about it, and I just didn't make it happen. Webcomic. That was another one that I talked about several times. I did actually make the webcomic. I drew it. I learned. There's amazing software, which if you haven't had the opportunity to try it, I believe there's a free trial. It's called Clip Studio Paint, or it's also known as Manga Studio 5. I think 2 different companies sell the exact same product. It literally is the exact same. I won't get into the reason why, but just feel, you can buy either one. This software is amazing. It's the Photoshop that I wish I had, when I was trying to draw in Photoshop. Photoshop was fine for doing photo editing and texture editing and touch-ups and that kind of stuff. But for actual drawing and making comic-style stuff, no. So this software has made it extremely fun to get back into this. And so I have drawn the webcomic. However, again, fear. Without fear, I would have had it done. I would have just charged through and released it to the wider web already. But it's sitting there waiting for me to come back to it while I bury myself in busy work at the beginning of the year. Another project that I wanted to, that I didn't get going last year that I want to. I had this big goal. I didn't tell very many people about it, but I wanted to sell a painting for $10,000. And it sounds ludicrous. Like, I told my friend about this, and he said, yeah, it should be no problem. $10,000 is not that much for a really nice painting. In fact, doing this type of artwork, I often, $5,000 commission is no problem. For him, with his mindset, it was so easy, right? For me, someone who has never sold a painting, who has never even really done a painting, since art, for the last 10 years, but I haven't done a painting. Super scary. I had what I thought was a fantastic idea for it. I did the sketches, and then I just choked. I don't know if that choking sound is coming through on the microphone. Hopefully I didn't kill your ears, but I just choked. It's still just sitting on my hard drive, and I posted some of these initial sketches and whatnot inside the Pencil Kings community, and people have seen them and been very encouraging and tried to get me to push forward and release these things, but there's just something there. So I want to ask, what projects do you have? What's a project that's sitting on your hard drive that's been waiting for you to finish it? What's that dream that's, something that you've wanted to do for so long that you can feel it in the pit of your stomach, something that you must do to complete your existence on this planet? You must get that project out, or you must let this story be told. Do you have that project waiting there? Because I would love to hear about it. I would love to help you in some way. I feel like it's difficult to help people one-on-one, but there's something that I can do to help you. And my way has always been to just lead by example, so I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it. But what I would love for you to do is to come over to our blog at pencilkings.com/podcast, where we have all our podcast episodes, and come to this episode and leave me a comment telling me what your big idea is and what's holding you back. Like, what is that big reason? And then, assuming we get people to comment, I would like you to go to someone else's comment who has said their big reason why they can't move forward with their project or what's holding them back, and see if you can help encourage them to move past it. maybe this is the thing. This year, we're going to work to encourage you to reach out to other artists, to stop being an army of one, and to start being an army of everyone, all the people that you're connected to online. Finally start reaching out to those people, getting help when you need it, offering help when you can, encouraging people, even if you're, a lot of people feel that they don't have the power to help somebody else. Like, what can I do? I'm just this guy. I'm just this girl. I'm only, X years old. I've never done this thing. Hey, everybody gets afraid. You can reach out to those people and encourage them on the road that they're on. Give them a pat on the back. Give them, a like on their Facebook page if they don't have that many likes. Give them, a friendly comment on Twitter. Whatever it is, it's all these little tiny things that help push people, especially the people that really need the help. There's those that they've already got a lot of people reaching out to them and kind of pushing them up. Those people still need help. But then there are the other people that don't have a lot of people reaching out to them. But as long as they're there, putting in the effort and putting their stuff out for other people to see, those are the people that I would love for you to reach out to, give a high five, give a like, whatever you can do to offer to help these people. I think it's, a very small gift that you can give in 2016. And that goodwill that you're sending out to the universe is going to be coming back to you. And I wish you all the best with your big project. And I'd love to hear about what that project is that you have for yourself over at pencilkings.com/podcast. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'm going to get back to hanging out with the family. We're still having like a post-holiday hangover family thing happening because I've been overseas for so long. So I wish you all the best for this year. And there's going to be some really cool things coming up. So I look forward to speaking with you next week and letting you in on some of the things that we're doing. And I'll tell you what the theme is right now, just to throw it out there. It's going to be about shaking off the rust, because I am like the Tin Man right now, coming out of a 10-year rainstorm where I am rusty as heck, and I need to shake off the rust. And it's going to be a little bit raw, but if you're willing to come along on the journey and you want to shake off some rust yourself, I would love to help you with that as well. So this is Mitch signing off, and love to see you over at pencilkings.com/podcast, where you can leave a comment and you can check out some of the courses and some of the things that we have going on at the site. And I'll be back with you in a week. So thank you so much for listening. Take care.
Demands patience, skill, years of practice.
Ah, you talk like a fool. I would trade a century of practice for an ounce of inspiration.